It's our final series of the night, Envy versus Enigma6, and I don't think we can talk about anything necessarily being a must-win at this stage of the league, but with both at 1 and 3, it's huge, Joe.
I mean, you're just trying to avoid bottom 2, right? Like, for Envy, this is not what we expected. I mean, I don't know. It's always tough, right? Because there's two sides to it. Like, we knew this Envy team, they could be really good if Apathy, if Hook, if everything starts to click. But we also knew on the other side, like, we remember EG from last year. They haven't made, or they struggled in the Pro League. It just felt like you were flipping a coin. On the other side of E6, we just sort of knew there was a lot of new talent on the Enigma6 side. How well were they going to do? We knew they had the potential to maybe be a top 4 team, but we figured they'd be somewhere where they are.
And I'm excited for one little angle in this too. Like, you know, Hook and Frosty did some battle back in their Halo careers, and now we got them facing off in the Call of Duty World League. I mean, not the biggest storyline, but they've battled against each other throughout the years, and now we see them on a new title. It should be insane. It's two guys with just insanely high individual skill.
They absolutely are. I think, you know, we heard the Desk talk about it, just sort of Hook being the hard carry. Someone else needs to step on up. I know there's been a lot of talk about, you know, Apathy, and I get it. It's because we expect a lot from him. But even your other pieces, like Silly and Assault, you know, Assault's another ICR where you just feel like maybe he just hasn't figured out where he needs to be, or his team's not playing around him.
And he's a guy that has been that hard carry in a lot of titles. Like, he's been that beast on the map, and I don't think we've seen that at all yet this year. So if you start to get that a little bit more, maybe it opens things up for your other players if you can dominate from that ICR role. But yeah, we know it's not the easiest role in this particular title, but he certainly hasn't taken over maps like we've seen him do in the past.
No, he has not. So maybe if, you know, some of those other guys get going, then maybe Apathy just
And you would think in that role with Hoop dominating as much as he is with an SMG, you would think it would make that role a bit easier to kind of get to those power positions.
Right, there's not a lot of pressure on you.
You would think, but it doesn't seem to be the case.
And, well, General and Cade with those ICRs get some nice shots in. They just control top mid. Is that a
hollow?
Hollow.
Okay.
From General.
Hello.
Okay, then.
You don't see it much at all. I mean, I know we've seen the thermal on the ICR a bit, but I think the first time I've seen the hollow used within the Pro League. They get 20 seconds, and then they try to get out. They still have the right side of the map and rock control covered for next. But Envy making a late push to get some time in. That number 2 that spawns out in Kismet, he might try to make a play around the hardpoint, does just that. Make sure that Envy can't accrue any more time inside the hardpoint, and that's, I'm going to say, a big one-on-one that Apathy really needs to take, but now he's going to be swarmed by multiple players. He's more than likely going to drop, so we'll shift focus over to the well push out of Envy. They get through well, they get a kill. They'll have the back spawns, but you like the setup you have from Enigma6. Look how pushed out that number 4 is. That's Frosty.
Well,
he was way out, like water side, all the way towards Boathouse.
He won a big one-on-one against Hook. Hook was trying to set up the pinch, but not able to do so. If Hook gets that kill, he just stays alive. Every single kill for Enigma6, or sorry, death, would have just put them across the map. But Frosty ended up winning that one, so E6 spawns very close at front rock. They're able to flood on in, and now Envy just have to try to flood through either back driveway or back staircase. And I mean, we've been talking to a lot of pros, and at this point for a while, we talked about on broadcast how you really want to focus those back spawns, and pros just figured out where we're just going to take those front spawns. We'll flood through water. It's much easier to flood through that water side than up a staircase.
A really nice garage hold from Enigma6 gives them a nice lead as we do rotate over to fences. 3 players from Envy in position. They've got control kind of the top hallway. They've got 2 set up at fences. Now pressure on Enigma6 to try and get the break, but we'll watch the hold from Envy's POV. As they get through, Assault just can't find the angle. 1 by 1, Envy continue to drop. Hook really the only one in the kill feed. Aches, nice gunfight when they're over. Frosty to give them a little bit of breathing room. But Kismet still there on the front line, just making sure he's contesting. And a drop shot, which you don't see all that frequently, but he actually gets another kill after that, and almost a chance to link in a third. But it's been enough damage there at fences to get a foothold in the hardpoint as Enigma6 get in very easily.
I think that's it. They don't allow Envy to get pushed up and provide pressure off of those spawns. Kismet does a wonderful job there, and now these last 20 seconds or so are going to go the way of Enigma6, so they're going to keep their, you know, 60, 70-point lead as we head towards Rock.
But look at Cade, man. 15 and 5 out the gate. And a lot of that was done at Garage. He had such a huge play. He was kind of that player watching the mid-connector push. I think he picked up 5 or so kills from that spot, but He's destroying Envy right now.
And that's just, he's more of a role player. We typically don't see this sort of stat line from him. And when you're E6 and you're getting him to play at this high of a level, you have to capitalize. You have to try to take this map one, because you don't know if you're always going to get that. That's sort of the big thing. You know, out of a guide like Cade. Like, yeah, we might see this every so often, but not typically.
A nice hold at Rock from Envy's, bringing them back into this. E6 trying to make another strong push, but so far haven't found a lot of success. It was Kismet that made the play towards fences to get them in. He gets two that finds an opening inside to allow them to at least contest, and now from a contest, it turns into big points. 100-47 now the scoreline. It seems like midway through that hard point, regardless of early setups from Envy, E6 eventually find a push through.
Yeah, now headed back towards this first hard point. Nobody in the hill quite yet, but remember off the start, it was Cade in general who used double ICRs. We'll see if they go back to that TAC 5 boost is used, but that gave them a lot of time. Frosty's gonna get taken down by Hook. That's sort of the question, right? Like, who's 10 and 11 right now, but he's not always going to drop a 1.4 in hardpoint. It's just impossible. It's not going to happen. So, what is going to happen to Envy when that doesn't happen, right? What's sort of the response?
They just get smoked.
Yeah.
And we've talked a lot about apathy struggles. They've continued here on map 1. He's 6 and 14. As he just can't find a footing in the respawns.
And remember when, you know, it was all the way back to Vegas, him and Silly swapped roles a good amount. I just wonder if it simply comes down to that. Like, one of these guys just not comfortable. Maybe Apathy wants to run a Maddox instead of a Sog.
Well, it was Cade last time from Enigma6 that did a stellar job in Garage once E6 got in. Who's it going to be this time? Kismet back in behind the grapple, has grab sound ready to go. Cade did use Vision Pulse to allow them to know where the push is coming in from Envy. Gets them set up inside. War Machine comes out, but they haven't had to use anything yet. He actually gets picked. He does get one grenade in there and kill one, and likely at least hold the bush for a moment. But Garage has been a slaughter. Like, has Envy gotten a point here?
I don't know. I just heard Kismet getting loud after he found that second kill on the Hook. Another one on the Silly. He's just playing these stairs back and forth just based off those timings. You get a nice jump. TAC 5 used by Envy. And now close to a 90-point lead for Enigma6. The one good thing for Envy, there's no streaks on the other side. There was a lot of investment. You had the Vision Pulse used. You had the War Machine TAC 5 used. So they only have Grab Slam and Tempest. On the other side, you have basically everything.
The TAC 5, the main thing that's been used. Now, can they get away with this early hole without having to use a lot of their powerful specialists? Some good damage done by Hook, but he doesn't clean up either of those kills, so E6 gets right into Shed, and they trade effectively. Again, they're just able to get in and contest so quickly. Behind these Envy setups is Kismet still screaming up on stage. That's 3 in a row for him, up to 18 and 15. He'll finally drop as he's caught mid-reload, pushing towards you.
Well, I think the big thing for him is those one-on-ones are against Hook. Like, that's what I'm talking about. If you're going to slow down Hook, he's 13 and 7. You see what happens to Envy. They are down 100 points. This is not a close game. They're trying to fight over scrap time. The rest of Enigma6 has spawned out towards Garage. They're just staying up. Envy's getting desperate right now. There's another one-on-one that goes to Kismet versus Hook, and now he's just going to grapple away and stay alive.
I like the use of his grapples. Like, they've been to play his life or get in a position to help his team. Like, he hasn't really found kills behind them, but it's allowed him to group up or play his life brilliantly. Now over to Rock. Hook's POV. Grab Slam is there. It doesn't get the second player at the edge, though. The angle's not in, so Kismet able to trade that almost immediately and keep this presence for Enigma6. Now, can he line up his grapple? Has to think twice about as Assault has taken out the Tempest. Nice one-on-one win there from Apathy as well to keep the pressure at bay. Assault's Tempest doing work, and an opportunity here for streaks, but you challenge one of the tougher fights in the game there at Lambeau. No streaks come in for him. Do you play that a little bit safer, or you just think you can hit the shot there on Lambo?
I think he's just hoping he could hit that shot, but yeah, he needs streaks to get his team back in the game.
Or just take it and quickly slide out of that so you don't just get ripped.
Also, Kid, he slowed down a little bit, but it's Frosty who's also stepped up with him at 26 and 14. Kismet, I mean, it's all positive on the side of Enigma6. They've dominated this game. Still, they need 40 more seconds to take map number 1.
Kismet trying to go bottom. Secret maybe find an angle. Gets a nice timing onto Silly as he tries to jump above, and that's going to lead to even more kills for him. 24 and 20, just engagements galore. And Cade maybe slowed down a little, but not much. I mean, 31 and 16, nearly double positive for him. Trying to get a presence inside the hard point. Nobody in now, but where Enigma6 is completely and utterly dominated Envy. I know they've done it throughout most of the map, but it's been Garage.
Yeah, but Hook able to find a couple of kills off rotation. I believe we saw Vision Pulse used as well. Yep, by Silly. Can try and control this hill. Maybe if they could get a set of streaks, there's an opportunity for them to get back in the game. Diabolic, he finds 2, but he's immediately going to get dropped. So E6, you could see just where the push has to come through. When you're pushed out at Rock, you control the back driveway. It is tough. It is very hard to at least get in and control, but now Kismet trying to make the play, able to find 1, takes down his teammate, but Hook actually took down Silly. So 2 go down for Envy. Kismet almost wins the gunfight on Apathy, but that might have been enough for them to just get in.
They get in, and even if they didn't get a lot of time, just to contest would feel good with how good a setup Envy had and the lead that you currently hold if you're E6. But with 3 kills through, Diabolic and Kismet continue to pave the way in Garage. And Garage has been so lopsided. It's got to be like 120 to 20 at this point just from that position. And that can account for basically the entire lead. Envy have to get in. If they're going to hope to contest this, they do it just enough to push it to another hard point. But as Kismet flies in, they just need 1 more point. E6 do it. And Kismet was loud throughout map 1. And for a reason, he was dominant throughout the course of that map. Just completely outplaying what you saw from the combo of Apathy and Hook.
I mean, everybody on the side, they just outplayed Envy. And again, you see what happens when you don't get a superstar performance. That's it. Like, no, Assault had a solid game, but everybody else struggled.
Right now they can't win hard points unless Hook goes off.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at the last minute of that game. It didn't really go down to the stretch. Enigma6 were comfortable throughout.
I mean, Envy had a shot here, right? If they
get
hold
the full
this
hold,
setup, maybe somebody gets streaks, and they're playing it beautifully. The problem is right here, who takes down a teammate? That's Silly. So 3 players go down. And as soon as that happens, Cade wins a one-on-one on Aches. That opens up the back spawns, allows the reinforcements to be here from E6. And
well, if they don't win that one-on-one in the back at the same time, yeah, they're probably still spawning deep, right? Spawning fences, trying to get in. I think 1 player did, but they had 2 spawn close, so they just kept being able to reinforce this. And I'm sure JP will have it on Twitter, but I'm just curious how much they actually outscored them on that particular hard point, because I know that it was pretty 50-50 at least the third time through, but the first 2 were just a slaughter for Envy. E6 dominated. But as usual, Jess had a chance to talk with both sides before we headed into this best of 5. Let's hear her thoughts.
Thanks, Clint. Yeah, that's right. I did have a chance to catch up with both sides. And first off, from E6, I had a chat with Frosty and asked him just kind of getting a feel for where his head is at with where they're at in the league right now. They are 1-3, and he said, you know, we're actually not too unhappy about that. We know we had a slow start, but we're kind of looking to make up for it here this week. So we're not too bummed about our record. And also, we've been making a lot of little tweaks on hard points, so we're feeling a lot better about that. And as we can see, it looks like those tweaks have been paying off. Now, over on the other side, I caught up with Aches, and you know, he is also sitting at a 1-3 record, but he says that, well, our record does not reflect how good we are. Our problem is that we've let a lot of series get away from us. And he spoke specifically about the loss to 100 Thieves yesterday. He said, well, that was as simple as, you know, we let map 1 get away from us. The other team, you know, 100 Thieves built up momentum, and we just couldn't bring it back around. So here in this series versus Enigma6, their main goal was to start off strong on map 1 and keep that momentum going. Unfortunately, that hasn't worked out for them so far, but let's see how the rest of the series goes. Back on over to the casters.
Thanks, Jess. And from Aches, that's something I feel like we heard a lot last year. Like, oh, we could have won this series. Oh, this could have been a 3-0. Oh, this. Like, it could have gone this way. But the fact is, it doesn't. I guess I'm curious from you. I think they mentioned on the desk, or maybe it was you that said, you think no matter kind of what happens, that this is the team we see at Fort Worth. After that is when you make a change. But is there something, could it be bad enough this week that this NB roster can make a change before Fort Worth?
Yes. I think so.
Was that the desk that said that?
Yeah, I didn't say that.
Yeah, somebody on the desk said they think they stick together throughout Fort Worth regardless, and after that's maybe when you think about things, but...
I mean, I know Pat said something along the lines where they've lost X amount of series, and like 80% of those were like Game 5, Round 11s, and that's, I sort of get. But if you come into this week, you lose 100 Thieves, you lose the E6, I don't know, I think they play Heretics as well this week. It just feels like they're not improving, and I think it could be a huge mental block to where they're going down early in a series. Guys like Apathy have a bad game one. He gets in his own head. You know, Pat gets in his own head, or it just gets frustrated with the rest of his team, and then things spiral out of control. I think that's why Pat was just so focused on map 1, because after map 1, it just feels like the same things are happening over and over.
Well, for the E6 side, it's a great start, and I think it was Pac-Man that was calling out Kismet, really saying he needed to step it up, and he sure as hell does it through that first map. And, like, yes, all the teams are feeling pressure, but it's just different. Like, if you're Enigma6, I just don't think it's the same as maybe the pressure you're feeling is if you're Envy. Just because the fact that you were world champs, because some of the pedigree you have on the team, like, they're absolutely feeling it at a different level than Enigma6. But Enigma6 answering the pressure well, at least through the first map.
And these are, again, two of the middle of the pack teams in the division. You lose a couple of games in a blinking of eye, like Envy could be 1-6 at the end of this week.
It's just tough if you're Envy, because if you think about the one weak link, at least so far, you'd probably say Apathy from a stats perspective. But like, is Apathy is that guy that if you drop, like, that's just gonna bite you later in the year, you feel like it's just a hard player to think about even getting rid of. Just
I mean, you talk about Apathy, but it's not like, besides Hook, nobody else is
that's true. That's true. That's true.
Nobody is excelled.
I was just thinking specifically, like, Apathy would be such a hard person to drop.
I think it's a role issue. I think early on he wanted to run a Maddox, and they're like, why are you running a Maddox? Just let Silly do it. And it does sound weird, but sometimes it's just how comfortable you are on the game.
Well, we don't know what all the issues are with Envy, but we do know they're down 0-1 in this series and sitting at 1-3. But now let's get our eyes on the search. There's been a lot of talk on the desk about Aches' sniper and whether he's made the impact he needs to with this particular weapon, as he just holds the outer lane towards the B site. Frosty gives him a shot, but he's not able to hit it. Apathy, though, will get the first blood for Envy. Another chance, and there he connects. Nice shot from Aches. Frosty gives him another chance, and that time he makes them pay.
Hook overextends, though. Hook overextends, tries to find that gunfight. Well, Kismet had a player looking over him. Now you have a 3 versus 3. You do have Silly watching this back elbow, so how do you attack this? General with that ICR going to put some shots in, but hey, guess what? You have Ace with the sniper. Almost goes down, though. Has to be careful. Backs on up. Bomb planted. 3 versus 3. A couple of stuns coming from the E6 guys. In general, able to take down Silly. Almost gets another one on Ace, and now you have man advantage, and Kismet just pushes the elbow. He knows he has a sniper, and E6 win this round.
Oh, and Ace very close to hitting that shot. I think the flinch got him a bit. Just hits it high. And E6 post-plant get it done after getting first blooded. They take the 3v3. See the final moments here from Cade's POV as he locks down that top balcony. Cade with a special map 1. Certainly feeling himself in this series.
I mean, you had man advantage if you're Envy, and Hook just chased the kill a little bit too far. Didn't expect a player to be top mid watching over him. That was Kismet, who just stayed alive.
It's Frosty's turn with the sniper, and Frosty makes 2 pay. A team kill comes in as well after Hook finds it. Silly takes off the back of his head. That's 3 snipes now for Frosty. They keep slow peeking him, and he keeps hitting the shots. Frosty gets 4. That's how you make work of the sniper.
I mean, yeah, just keep running in front of me.
Yeah, I mean, not to knock it in a crazy round for him, but they weren't the most difficult shots, were they?
I mean, it's a great production on a Frosty. Hits a couple of nice shots. That second one, that was nice, but Yeah, I mean, hey,
the rest is just him pre-aimed holding the lane.
Envy, there's a sniper here, if you didn't know.
Ace is like, peekaboo. Oh crap.
Just a little too far on that shoulder peek.
Well, he got revenge for Ake sniping him in the first round, I think.
Remember last week, Frosty had the Kashka. You don't see that anymore.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I forgot about that. You think after a round like that, he's got to keep the big stick out. He does just that.
Yeah, he's going to play a little confident. Ace is here. He goes for the jump. Ace misses. Frosty gets position. He's in the 0 forward again. It's just back and forth, and Ace wins it.
Nice shot from Ace.
All right, reset your confidence a little bit. It's like, all right, I can't do that all the time.
He's 2.
I'm not going to get 4 every round.
Back and forth they go in this outer lane. But it was a 5v4, in round 1 for Envy. They let it slip away. The same seems to happen here as now it's 4v4. And this just looks like the same situation we saw Assault 10 trying to get one on the cross. They start to build the pressure towards A. This time just a 4v4 versus a 3v3 in round 1.
Do you have Assault here with an ICR? We'll see if he can find anything. Almost overstays his welcome. See, it's cut down to 7 HP. Cluster out. I don't know if that's going to hit the bomb planter. He missed the nade. Ace misses the nade. But the cluster does go through.
But it's after the bomb gets down. He throws it on the other side. Maybe kills him before the plank gets in. 2 versus 2 now. Now it's just General by himself. They push him, they clean him up, and plenty of time for the defuse. So this time, Envy don't throw away the first blood. They get the round win.
General almost brings that back in that 4 versus 2. Finds a couple of kills. If K gets that one more, that could have been the round.
Puts him in a 1v1.
But even if you look at that setup, right, like after the first blood comes in, why is Apathy all alone bottom middle? He has nobody helping him. E6 basically knows, hey, how do we bring this round back? There's probably a guy bottom ladder. Now, typically, if you have a guy bottom ladder, there's someone close pipes with you to help you trade. But that player was in the back with Pat watching his sniper. I believe that was who. So App just had no help. It basically just, he is double teamed.
Well, thankfully for them, they're still able to take the round. Otherwise, that'd be a couple of frustrating defenses from them for sure. Spray out the chicken. An aggressive defense at B as Diabolic and Frosty start to get pushed up. General finds first blood in the window, then challenges Aches. I don't know, maybe play the advantage there. Don't need to take that challenge.
I was very confident, but once again, another team kill comes out from Envy. So that man advantage disappears very quickly, but 3 versus 3, bomb being planted. Assault watching over Silly, and you have Aches just patrolling top mid.
They're just going to back it up. Got a trophy out, so even if Diabolic has a cluster, shouldn't have an impact. Diabolic just pushes, gets him weak, but can't finish the kill. They have 30 seconds to work with, and they've got to go. But Silly, even though he has the team kill, goes big in this round. Gets 2 on the push, and now it's Cade left by his lonesome. Assault guns him. And a couple round victories in a row now for Envy.
Yeah, right here, this gunfight, I think I think it was Diabolic early on had Silly weak. If Diabolic gets that gunfight win, makes it a 3v2. E6 probably wins that round, but great job by Silly to back you up, stay alive, wait for his teammates, and then finds a couple of kills.
Yeah, I think he had 3 total in the round, because didn't he get 1 kill when he got the team kill as well?
Yep.
The big round is going to put him just 100 off of streaks now. He was just spotting A, didn't see anything. It's mid-map and B push, but it's Apathy down bottom ladder. Hook with the first blood. Apathy bottom middle is able to tack on another one as well. See how they play behind this man advantage, and a Hook I thought was going to overpeak for a second and get cut down.
I think he was getting smoked by his teammate. I think it was Ace who was shooting him in the back with an ICR. 4v3 and Envy playing very aggressive, just trying to catch E6 off guard. And they might have done just that.
Well, E6 still have to get bomb as it's down.
They just push on through. Who can Apathy find a couple of easy kills, one more up top, and it was a very fast start for E6, but since then it's been all Envy.
Anything Envy are doing a little bit differently in these past 3 rounds to get them on the board?
Playing their numbers, right? I mean, obviously when first blood's going your way.
Well, they've cleaned it up since that first round, that's for sure. Hook, maybe the best player in this division, has to be so frustrated with the 1-3 start. General, the lone man today, and you can see on the minimap, that's where Envy's going to be coming. Just needs to make sure he gets away with his life. Snipe goes right by his ear.
Trying to just bait out another shot out of Aches, but a nade comes in out of Hook. You don't always see those frags. Teams more and more starting to incorporate it. I think the other team that's starting to use it is 100 Thieves. You see Enable find a couple of frag kills every now and then.
Well, it's just they don't have flak on.
Yeah, it just catches you off guard.
Positions like that, you know somebody's going to be at the back block. Kismet will even the odds at 4-4. Silly just trying to hold under balcony. K was backed up by that stun. Hook couldn't finish that kill. And now Apathy comes in behind and catches a fist in the face. Hook's gonna drop. And Enigma6 get the retake. It felt like Hook should have got a kill. Was Apathy or Silly top balk like he should have had one?
He just came out so frantic. He just comes out, just shoots his gun. He probably gets one kill and runs away. They probably win the round.
I think the same for Hook there. Like, I thought he was going to finish that kill. I mean, I know he's trying to play his life because he sees 2-3 people looking at him, but I think he had an opportunity to at least pick one off bomb and get out. Well, just as we say, Envy has cleaned things up 3 rounds in a row. That one, certainly a round victory they likely should have had. I mean, hell yeah, you could argue this could or should be 5-1 Envy. But that's been the tale of their team so far in their series. Kismet has the grab slam. Just looking to maybe make a play in elevator, but they'll back up Silly, and he's going to push right into their top balk. Just shoulder peeking for whatever information he can get. He's hoping a couple push, and he is just going to slam them into the concrete.
Very patient right now out of Kismet. Doesn't want to miss it. Stun comes in as well. Nice job out of Envy. Apathy peeks the corner. Diabolic, now it's his turn. Just try and stay alive, but he gets cut down, and now it's a 1 versus 3 for Frosty, and that's going to do it. Great retake from Envy.
Yeah, and that's just good patience from them, making sure that grab slam can't come through. You looked at Kismet just trying to set it up.
Obviously, we could see players through walls, but it just felt like Kismet should have pulled the trigger.
Yeah, well, every time he spotted, I think from his POV, he just saw one shoulder peeking at the back. I don't think he realized one pushed up to that top window or like got position on him. It was just a timing when he took a little bit of damage, back down, left a spot for one to push up. But yeah, from our POV, it's like he hits that anywhere in like that 15-second span, he's likely getting 2. This is one of those times that you look for the perfect use of it, and you just never find that window until it's too late.
And maybe he's afraid he's going to miss it, right? That player's playing that back hallway. Can spot that it's a ruined character. Maybe
well, that's why. I think that's the whole reason he held. He's just like, oh, he's just shoulder peeking. He'll back up as soon as I push. He just didn't see the one that actually flew up at him.
Well, you can see on the minimap, Kismet plays very aggressive towards that elevator side. And Envy know they probably have grab slam.
I think Apathy tried to get out of there, but Hook's position, like he ran into him and couldn't get around the corner.
So now can Hook make a play with grab slam? See, he's trying to inch closer and closer to the enemy, but can't make it across. His Diabolic able to find one. Now Kismet.
Nice shots.
Pressure from top middle. Gonna spot the last 2 players. It's all on the Silly. Trying to stay up. And just back and forth we go.
Yeah, it just seemed to be an awkward sequence for Envy to kind of set that up. It's like they were baiting Apathy to get out, but he didn't like what he saw, tried to get away, and just couldn't get around the edge. Then from there, you're just at a numbers disadvantage. And E6 do a good job cleaning it up. So Envy go on their little run, and now it's E6's turn. That's what, 2 in a row?
Mm-hmm.
All right, what do we have specialist-wise? Still just a grab slam on each player. Aix does have the war
Envy
machine.
almost has everything.
Yeah, Enigma6 is getting into that realm as well, but definitely back a bit.
Well, they knew one of the go-to setups was Apathy bottom middle, not able to catch him as Ap's just playing up top his ladder. But it does give them a lot of freedom to roam this pipe area. Kismet just trying to spot anything. Yeah, bomb starting to work this way. It's just another situation where that ruined player just trying to find an area where he could potentially grab slam. Apathy now bottom middle, but just gets away, climbs the ladder.
I was staring at the minimap to see when Apathy can get that kill, but Kismet finally opts to use the grab slam, gets melted. Now Apathy strikes and gets away with his life. 3v3, he's going to use the TAC-5 in this situation to try and close out the round.
The Ace used War Machine as well, so they're just they're absolutely trying to win it. Now a 2v3, 30 seconds left. Diabolic, can he win it? No. If he wins that, he could probably get a free plan in, and who knows what happens. But Envy invest a lot, and they're going to get the round win.
And I think I saw Silly as like a kill off or seconds off of the vision pulse. Headed into the next round. Yeah, I think he just said I'm going to get my pulse off break or something along those lines. And we'll see if they use that just to get the bomb planted, or if they can get a free plant, use it post-plant, see where the push is coming from. But Silly's vision pulse could be massive. They're going to give him the plant, so he can just get the plant, get the vision pulse. If they can get a plant of 5v5 and pop pulse, you got to feel pretty good about this round for Envy, but Assault gets picked. Frosty Sniper connects yet again. Now the vision pulse not really in play as things fall apart for Envy very early, and now looking very much like a round 11 at stake.
Oh, but hold on.
He couldn't shoot. I think they were stacked there. 3v2 for Enigma6. As Silly and Apathy just trying to make the play. If they can get this down to a 2v2, I mean, maybe the vision pulse still comes into play down the stretch in this round, but it felt like it was over for them early. But they fought back into it. They're going to push him, though. They both get stunned. Frosty with a counter stun out as well. Pushes with the strafe. At least gets one. His job is done. The trade is there. And that gets us to around 11.
Great job by Frosty. You could see what Envy was doing. They were trying to just hold those close pipes so they get into a forward position. They do. But Diabolic, Frosty, they have tac mask on. Stun comes through, just sort of switches the fight.
That's where they were stacked. And like, I think he wanted to shoot, but like Silly's gifted the second kill because we've been in that situation where you're like waiting to fire so you don't kill your teammate. The next thing you know, you both get smoked. Just an awkward stack there, an elbow. All right, so what do we have? Yeah, Hook has Grab Slam, Silly has Vision Pulse, General has Tempest, Cade almost has Pulse, and you have War Machine. Oh, and the TAC-5. So you're bringing the TAC-5, so an advantage Enigma6.
Vision Pulse, though, out. General's going to pull out the Tempest right away. Able to hit one. Does that chain on it anymore? Doesn't matter. Envy's going to get pushed up, and this is exactly where you want Hook. We saw Kismet in this spot. General almost able to hit him. Diabolic pulls out War Machine. I don't think he connects with anything. Trying to maybe hit that player on the bomb. Hook, though, gets taken down before Grab Slam.
And God, we see both players from that spot not be able to get any use out of it.
Oh, the Tempest runs out.
It's just Diabolic by his lonesome. Now he'll get pushed, and Envy, they clutch up in the round 11 and tie our series at 1 apiece.
I don't know what else. After Diabolic pulls out War Machine, I mean, they get the kill on Hook, and you're thinking, this is all he's 6, and it just felt like a couple individual fights went the way of Envy.
You get nothing from the War Machine. You get nothing from the Tempest other than one knock. The TAC-5 obviously doesn't really provide a lot for you. I mean, you had everything to use in the round, just couldn't connect to find the kills. Another gutsy map and a victory for Envy leaves us at 1-1. We're tied up 1-1. Control coming up next. Two teams sitting at 1 and 3. And I think for a lot of us, the question's just been, what is wrong with these squads? So we did ask you on Twitter to use the hashtag CWLPS4, specifically on the Envy side. What's going wrong with Envy? What do they need to fix? And we'll take a look at some of the answers that come in. The first one, proper streak usage. They have to close out games. We've seen them get good leads and just blow it because they can't close out. Yeah, I think that mirrors kind of what we've been saying a bit, Joe. Let's see what else they have to say. Then we got two more responses. It's apathy that needs to step up. We all know he has the ability to take over a map, but we haven't seen that out of him yet. Yeah, that's been said so many times over the first couple weeks, first couple months.
He's got the talent. We're just waiting for it. We're just waiting for it. I don't know what's not clicking, but it's something.
And the final tweet. The Envy team need to get out of Hook's backpack and start playing like a team. Yeah, it certainly felt like the Hook show, at least thus far. But how they desperately need a victory here. Clutching up in the search definitely keeps them in this series. Otherwise, things getting real scary.
Yeah, I think that was a big map 2 win for Envy.
What was the one map they won against 100 Thieves? It was the Control, right?
Uh-huh.
So we'll head to Seaside. We've seen a lot of that recently. You favor Envy in the Control?
I think I do. Yeah, just based on what we've seen, it obviously feels like the one game mode that they have under control.
Well, and they beat 100 Thieves. So I mean, at least Slasher thinks 100 Thieves is the best control team in the game. That's been the one mode that they've certainly looked the strongest. And you think if Envy can get a win there over a team like that.
I always find it funny how sort of vetoes work throughout the year, right? Because early on, we hardly ever saw Seaside, right? Because teams didn't want to play it. It was so defensive, heavy. Now we're hardly seeing Arsenal. We're hardly seeing Frequency. Teams are taking risks on Seaside.
Yeah, so we've seen, it feels like the past couple of weeks, just way more of it. Envy right into B. There are 4 players here with a presence from Enigma6. General does find a pair, but it ends up with just a one-on-one really to leave it standing, and that's going to be able to be won by Kismet. So no progress yet for Envy, but it was so back and forth. You weren't able to get any kind of like forward push out of E6. They still have to just hold from the point. Now they've got 4 players inside. They cleared the way. Frosty says, screw it. They can have fun at B. I'm going to spawn kill eggs. They had a back and forth battle in the search, just snipe after snipe between those two. Now Frosty realizes he needs to wrap back and help. He does get a kill. A tick and a half done at B. What a play from Frosty.
Yeah, he's the reason they still have this B side. He's just won 2 incredible one-on-ones, especially that 1-on-2 assault. That's not an easy gunfight. You have to basically run into an ICR set up in a very strong position. But it just staggers the push for Envy. It gets them, you know, off the point, not capturing it, allows his teammates to push on up, and now you have full map control. Great life out of Frosty right there.
I thought he was going to maybe play for the streaks a bit more as he was 250 off or so, but maybe poor timing as he tries to get set up for the stairway push. But there's only 20 seconds remaining. He's just thinking, let me try and stagger this, delay the next push as much as I can. Now you've got 5 players on B. For Envy, they're going to get this point and extend the clock. You see the setup for E6. Towards A, we're even in life count. Specialists won't come into this in round 1. If you're Envy, just where do you find that opening? No streaks to use, no specialists to use. What's your plan of attack? As it's already been staggered. Look at that number 9 all the way pushed up. It's going to be Frosty yet again with a chance to spawn kill.
This is very similar to what we just saw with Splice and Heretics when Splice were on offense. After they captured the B point, they were kind of at a standstill. And Hook just trying to get out of the spawn, not able to do so as he goes towards that low roof. Now Ace is there with him. Maybe Frosty gets bad timing, but he snaps right back on Ace, spots another one. And he's just being annoying. He's just hoping that his teammates get all the kills they do, and then he plays his life. Beautiful once again out of Frosty.
Yeah, and this is delayed at all about, what, 45 seconds or so, really, since he got into this position. Said, screw it, let my team try to hold A. I'm going to be a nuisance on the map, and he does just that. It also leads to a 4-life advantage for E6. So this has just been a great defensive round out of E6, but specifically Frosty has been really solid.
Now you have Cage just playing a sneaky corner, finds a couple of kills, only 6 lives left, make it 5. They're super staggered. Silly's gonna have to wait for his team, but his team getting spawn trapped by Diabolic at the fountain as he finds 2 kills. This round is over for Envy.
It's so tough because, I mean, earlier in a round, it's easier to deal with. You can send people back to help your teammates out off spawn, but once the play clock comes into play and there aren't a lot of lives on the board, you're just kind of relying on those guys to find their way out. Not shocked to see the Frosty is the best play, as this was in the opening of the round, which really delayed the B capture from Envy. Spawn kills Aches, picks up Assault, and then knocks Silly out of it, so Envy have to reset. I think he only ended up like 7 and 3 or something, but all 7 of those kills were huge just to delay everything from Envy.
See, now it's always been so big. Can a team steal on offense? We'll see if E6 can do it. Not going to throw anything at A. They're just going straight up towards that B site. Oh, Kismet almost messes up slides there. Almost gets in trouble. Trades back and forth. Kismet gets double teamed. Silly able to find 2. And very quickly, you're going to have Envy with a good amount of map control. They can find these kills, and they should be able to do so.
So far, so good, but here comes the next wave. Kismet can't get the entry. Silly, nice job inside, but only 8 bullets in the clip. That could end up costing him. There'll be the reload in. They can test from Enigma6. Who tries to wrap out from outer. They're not ready for it. He at least gets 1. So that just leaves Kismet by himself. This zone gonna go so slow. Now the 3 other players from E6 come here to get a bit of help. Nice position from Frosty to do some damage there behind the table.
That is just a bulletproof ketchup and mustard.
Yeah, right. But it's really general. It's able to get 3, I think, before he falls, and that'll be the point. They're trying to decide who's going to stay behind. It looks like everyone wanted to start to push up. But 2, it's really just 1 stays back. It's just going to be K, and then they'll rely on the players off spawn to come and finish B. Frosty and Kismet just push up the map. A lightning does come in. Those for Kismet, right?
Yeah, Kismet gets a lightning. We'll see if he's able to use that maybe to help them win this round. They do have a 2 life advantage. Just taking a look, you have Silly who's double positive, but then everyone else struggling on Envy. Once again, it's who can respawn. You don't see this too often, but again, it is so hard to upkeep the performance of a 1 point, whatever it is, like 4. That is just so hard to keep consistent. That's why we keep talking about it, is because it's incredible.
It really is.
And now we're seeing just a glimpse of what can this Envy team do when he shows that he can be human sometimes.
4 life advantage for Enigma6 and 90 seconds on the clock to work with. Time not really going to come into play. It's just Envy having to make a huge stand here at a big disadvantage. No respawns left for them. Every life so crucial. Hook's going to get caught. Silly was tagged up as well. He gets finished. Now it's just 1 player left standing. That's Apathy.
They didn't have to use any specialists either. They had to use nothing. They didn't use anything. I thought maybe down the road, Kismet comes into church, has to use Grav Slam. They didn't use anything. A couple one-on-ones come in. Kismet finds Hook. And they have all the specialists to try to hold off Envy and a lightning.
They get the first respawn victory in the Hardpoint. Now well on their way to doing the control as well. And they're back to defense with even more in their arsenal. Kismet and the respawns. Kismet and Cade, really, those 2. I mean, they were the 2 standouts in the Hardpoint here as well. I mean, everybody really solid job on E6, but those are the ones standing out. Trophy is going to get eliminated by Kismet. He's got a one-on-one here at the edge. Grav Slam and Grapple available too in the arsenal.
Kismet heard that TAC 5 go off. TAC 5 used by Envy, but it doesn't turn into any kills. General, Cade all find kills.
The push is just all over the place.
Yeah, now you have 45 seconds to work with. They don't even have a take on B. Now a lightning is going to come in. Maybe he finds a kill or 2, just waste some time. That's going to at least force Envy to go towards that A side or inside barrels. Like, they just don't have a lot of time left. Vision Pulse now used.
And I think it was Cade close to streaks as well, as he's 17 and 8. He does get them. It looks like he still has the Hellstorm to use.
I mean, just look at this right now. You have 3 players.
Well, everyone
triple negative.
Everyone
on the side of Envy. 3 players triple negative. Apathy 7 and 15. Hook 7 and 17. Ache 7 and 16. Just can't happen.
And that, wow. That's about as dominant as an effort. That looks like what Splice we saw yesterday with their win. I mean,
accelerate.
That just was not close. E6 dominant on the control. They take both respawns, and Envy just looked, I don't know. They're
not good.
Not having fun. I mean, it's obviously not a blast when you're losing, but they just look pissed, frustrated.
Well, I even heard, like, in between the rounds, I think it was silly, like, just said something like, I called that out 5 times. Like, why didn't someone pick it up? Like, I heard that player there. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but you could tell there's frustration, there's communication issues on the side of Envy.
Oh, the troubles continue for Envy, but for E6, a couple of great performances in this series. We'll watch the stretch, the final stretch of this game. And this time it wasn't really necessarily E6 getting pushed up towards the Envy side of the map and kind of picking them as they were trying to get back into it. It just felt like staggered push after staggered push.
Or that push right there on it that Envy tried to make, it was with the Tag 5 boost, and you have the advantage in the gunfights. They don't go their way. Now you're in a position where there's 30 seconds left. You have to go up against Vision Pulse and Streaks, and you could just kind of tell after the Hellstorm and Lightnings come in, it felt like Envy just kind of gave up. They knew they just weren't going to win this round.
Now, what if do you think there's a world in which someone like, let's say you're Hook. Hook's not, I mean, he's got to be pretty self-aware to know that he has been carrying. He knows how well he's been playing. If you're put in a spot where you're that frustrated, where maybe he's even thinking he deserves to be on a better team, like that stuff can start to build and really affect your performances, I would think.
And Envy needs to do whatever Hook wants. I mean, that's just it.
You mean that guy's in a work?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, for all we know, Hook is not leaving Envy for a very long time. Like, we know they have him locked down. But I tell you what, do not waste his talent. Stro, I will come down to Dallas and tell you exactly what you need to do. Stop wasting the talent of Hook. Honestly, if they go like 2-5 or 1-6 this time, yeah, it's time to change.
Have to before Fort Worth. That's how you feel?
Stop wasting Hook.
Well, you're not even getting the best of Hook in this series, and that's what my question was. Like, if it's just, if the frustrations internally are just starting to affect him, because you got to think, even if they're playing bad, he's still going to get his, right? He's still going to get his numbers. But even now, he's not able to do that. Like,
he's not going to do it every series. I'm thinking, all right, so this is what happens when I don't have a 1.5. Like, don't be surprised if this guy's maybe statting a little bit this game, just trying to win a little bit more of his one-on-ones to see what happens, because we saw what happened in map 1. They just got smoked, and we just saw what happened there. That control was just, it was horrible from the Envy side. And obviously that E6 is playing incredible as well. It's a combination of the two, but frequency hardpoint. Envy's got to take this to get us to a map 5. Otherwise, that is an E6 win and a 1-4 start for Envy. And I know it seems like sometimes we're focusing more on the Envy struggles than how great Enigma6 has been playing. And trust me, we get E6 is playing out of their minds. I think it's just frustration for us because we expect more out of Envy. Yeah, I think that's just. But I mean, when we saw this E6 roster, if you look from top to bottom, if they all play well, like Cade plays this way all the time, this is a scary roster. There's not a lot of weaknesses. When you look at old E6 rosters, it was always general. What can he do? What help can he have? And it was a lot. Now you have 5 solid players from top to bottom. I think they were one of the big, good surprises from the Pro League qualifier. If they all play this consistent, this team's tough. It's just last week, like I think Pat talked about it, especially on traded shots, was like Kismet has to play better. And we're seeing that now. He's one of the reasons why Hook's not playing that well, because a lot of the one-on-ones between Hook and Kismet have gone the way of Kismet. Maybe getting in Envy's head a bit. He's obviously been shouting a lot up there as well. E6, just one more map needed. Can they do it here on frequency hardpoint? Right into it we go. I think he hit the back of someone's forehead. That hurts. How do you hit the back of someone's forehead? I don't know. Can we get some Advil in the main stage? So, like, wow, that's got to just hurt. Through his skull and right into his forehead. Oh, man. Hopefully it was the recon guy who's got a helmet on. Like, jeez. Safety first, Joe. Safety first. Goodness. And we we see Silly here actually running fire break, so we will have the flamethrower with a purifier.
Oh, and he might have some streak. Well, stunned his teammate in the face, but also got General. He's very close to streak so quickly as all his kills coming around the objective. Next push comes in. There's the trade. Lightning already. A great start for Envy is Silly. Maybe the one bright spot in that control from a statistics standpoint. He keeps it going.
When we touch on who, typically Silly's been their #2 guy. Ake's also 6-1, a great start for them, 35-second lead. But yeah, you couldn't ask for a better start from a couple of players who needed to step on up.
That's certainly true, and now that we're at orange, the ping comes in from Silly. They know where the hit's going to come from. They seem to be ready for it.
He's at 270 away from a gunship.
7-0. Can he get a gunship? We saw it happen a couple times in scrims, but not yet in the pro league. He's so close. 130 up. Please, please.
No way.
He's only got 11. I swear if he gets costlier because he doesn't reload, I'm going to lose my mind.
Oh, we got a gunship.
And the gunship is in. It's ready. I'm so excited.
You blow up half the map with that thing.
Hey, he's still alive. Silly now 11-0. It's madness. What a start from Envy. They get smoked on the control and now just throttling E6 in the opening hard points. He finally dies 11-1. But the big key there, the gunship. When will that come into play? I'll be honest, I don't have a lot of experience with gunships because I rarely earn them.
I don't think you use them because you know you're not going to earn them.
That's pretty true. I don't, Joe.
Yeah. But E6, they fight back towards this blue base. They win rotation. You saw, I believe it was Frosty win a huge one-on-one in the back on the hook.
Oh God, imagine.
Lightning strike in.
Imagine if you're Envy and you somehow end up losing this game after you have an 80-point lead and a gunship earned in the opening 60 seconds.
I think it's a little bit different.
I know.
Frequency. Like, yes, he's got a gunship, but there's a lot of places you can hide.
That's true.
But yes, it is absolutely ridiculous.
Where do you pull it out? Maybe on fourth?
Fourth, yeah.
Not a lot of places to hide at pipes.
Well, even if you're just on the inside of pipes or in the base, you're just. It should be a free hill. It should be a free hill for Envy. Realistically, it should turn into a free 50 to 60 points for them.
Well, we'll wait and see. But Silly hasn't slowed down at all.
He's got a purifier already.
Yeah, we're what, through 3 hard points.
It is not easy to get a purifier.
Well, it is if you're Silly.
When are we gonna see it?
Here it comes. Here it comes. Yes! Oh, bye-bye, E6. Bye-bye. Light them up. Light them up! Where are they?
It doesn't. They're all gonna hide. This is what I was saying. This should just turn into a free hill. This should turn into a free.
I gotta hear this from Envy's side. Let's get right to it. Astro Gaming, listen in with Envy.
They're in. Run on you.
Under. Absolute dead. No one under. Kill me. You're good.
You gotta start rotating.
Yeah, start getting new, guys.
They're gonna be in new.
Enter. Rossi, enter.
Are they in new?
Get out of it. No, shoot.
Guys in new.
Square.
Another one in new.
New, come to you. He's backside of you. He's going outer, zero outer.
I have flame. I have flame.
I have
Yes, been in there. One shot.
Let me use my flame.
Hey, got me.
You might want to wait. They don't have flak yet.
There's two in.
You gotta wait.
You should wait, probably. Yeah. I'll get aside. You have grapple collar?
Yeah, I do.
Hang on. Wait for us.
One's right side. 3 in the hill. I have a stun.
Enter. I have otter.
Well, you said you thought it'd be a free 50 points or so, and I think it was exactly that, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, what you say is just like, all right, rotate. You even heard in the NV, after listening, it was like, Assault was like, all right, get out of it. You know, I know you're having a ton of fun, but we have to rotate to this next hill. And now he has the Purifier. You know he wants to try to pull that out here soon. Diabolic, though, with attack 5. I mean, if you can... if they get this 30 seconds, this is...
And Diabolic's close to streaks.
They can still do this.
Oh, no. It's not even close to over yet.
No.
There was a damn gunship. Kismet just waiting patiently here. I don't know if it was Fog of War, they spotted him, but it doesn't seem to matter as he's still taking him down. Nice little bait and switch comes in, but another streak from Silly. Gets 2. Diabolic still working on these streaks. A crucial moment here for Enigma6. Is it really just 2 players here ready to go? He can't get away with his life. No streaks for E6. And a presence here in the back from Envy. The Purifier still ready for Silly. You heard them talk about that a bit. Like, he thinks they'll, what do you say? You think they'll have flak up? Why? Don't use it yet? Don't use it? Well, now with that in too, it's like they have that flak up for the War Machine. They have that flak up for the Purifier.
Still, great break by Envy, because E6, they would have tied that game up if they held this hill, and now they can't come through the front.
Welcome to the oven! Well, we got one.
Well, and that's why you don't see it that often, because you can slide under it. You can slide right under it. It's not an insta-kill.
Oh, I was way too excited for that.
I think in Black Ops 3 it was like a one tick, and you were just toast. But in this game, I think with the 150 health, it's a little bit different. Plus, like I said, you just slide into it.
He's 28-7.
Yeah, they should win this game.
28-7. They still have held on to around an 80-point lead since going up 80-5. But Enigma6, will they make any kind of run? Maybe it's General and his Tempest. Nice shot, a change to one below, so he gets two. Kismet involved in the action as well, but now the Tempest on the other end from Assault. General fell. And now what can Assault do? There's one close right on him. His teammate picks it up from window. They're just trying to push them out. The grab slam will clear the way. That actually picks the one all the way up in the backside of lobby as well. Some good specialist use from Envy to combat what you saw out of E6.
Yeah, you'll see Assault just taking a look. Yeah, Silly's 31-9. I mean, besides that, it's pretty just normal across the board. App still struggling, but it doesn't matter when your team's winning by 100 points. And
Can they get two gunships?
Why not?
Still a long ways to go. 645 needed for Assault.
But I mean, that hill at Orange, if that goes any different, and Diabolic finds Streets, we might have a different game.
Only 30 points needed for Envy, the TAC 5 in as well. Nice shots from Assault. Now he's 355 off a gunship.
I just don't think there's enough time.
No. More than likely not, but wouldn't it be funny if the first time we saw a gunship, we saw two gunships?
I'm sure he's playing for it at this point. Like, it's sort of just, yeah, okay, he's going to get traded out. I think when you get to a certain point, you're just kind of like, guys, I'm going to play for this.
Yeah,
right? Like,
especially with
it's
this
done.
lead.
Yeah. I mean, even Silly, even though it was early on in the game, you're just sitting there like, I am baiting the heck out of you. I want to earn a gunship.
I don't know how this has been Envy, right? You somehow lose a control, and one of the more lopsided controls we've seen all year. Then you come out and win 250 to 100. You drop a gunship, and that gets us to a map 5. Silly was ridiculous. What a performance from him, and it was just out the gate. He starts 11-0.
I mean, what did you say if you were E6? You just kind of laugh about it. Like, did that just happen type thing?
It did. You were the first victim of a gunship in the Pro League.
And we saw that a lot where, really on that first hill, on the breakoff, where someone, it just feels like the last person alive goes like 3 or 4-0. They start to just earn streaks very quickly on that first hill.
These last two maps have been absurd. Like, just from how lopsided they are from either end of this.
Yeah. We saw gunship.
E6, smoke him in control, and Envy not phased at all. Silly thumps him with a gunship in the map 4. We've got a map 5 coming up next. Here we go. out of the gunship and into map 5. Enigma6 and Envy going the distance.
I like that.
A ludicrous series. A ludicrous series.
I think we talked about it during the break. Just every single map has been one-sided.
Except for the search. Except for the search that goes to the round 11. Yeah. I mean, this feels like, usually, I mean, you can just tell, like, from a commentary standpoint, like, when you've been casting, like, the 5-game series usually feel long.
Yeah.
This just hasn't felt that long because there's been a lot of blowouts really in the respawns, at least over these final 2 maps. Like, the control lasts about 4 minutes. That was a blowout. I mean, there's a gunship earned in the opening 60 seconds. I'm going to show it one more time because if you're wondering why we're hyping this up, this is the first time we've seen it. It's the gunship meta. We've entered the stock 1 in the gunship meta.
Yeah. And I think at this point you were like, where are they?
Oh yeah. I was so hyped. I went from like a 11 out of 10 to like a 2 because I was like, I want him to light more people up, and they're all just hiding. Like you hear a rocket at one point. This just looks fun.
No, I mean, I think as soon as this happens, E6 just has to give up the time. They know that hill is over, and they're on to the next one. They're just hoping he gets out of it sooner or later. Yeah, I think right here, like you hear a rocket start to go off. But Silly with just an unbelievable individual performance.
No, he was nuts on that map, and he's been honestly rock solid for the most part in this particular title.
He's been Envy's number 2 guy.
Yeah. He's been great, but can he consistently be great to get Envy through the tough times? They need him in this map 5. Or maybe Hook, who's had a lackluster series from his perspective, maybe this is where he takes over. Or will it be somebody from E6 that dominates? It's Payload, Search and Destroy coming up next.
This is Envy's bread and butter.
It was, but I don't think anything's been their bread and butter as of late.
All right, why don't we just shut that down?
Well, I mean, no, you're not wrong, but it's hard to say anything's really been solid for them. They've been struggling so much, but...
Now, you talked about Hook, but the one game mode where Hook played well was Search and Destroy. He was, I think, like 9-6 at one point.
I had an incredible play on this map earlier today, Joe.
I know you did.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I don't think, I don't know.
Ball Dashing takes over with the Tempest.
No, stop.
Everybody's talking about it.
Stop.
I should be, who's picking me up? I should be on a pro team, right?
No.
Hope my duo would gas me. He just shuts me down and tosses me in a...
I got to keep you real,
yeah,
you know?
That's true. That's
just
true.
bring it back down to earth. You'll be yelling at your monitor later.
Yep, I sure will be.
I can't shoot straight.
I never can. Round 1 now underway. General playing at the back box, just keeping vision on A. And like we've seen Envy do time and time again, they push in the lab, they get control. But for Enigma6, you at least make sure nobody gets picked, so you give yourself a chance at a 5-on-5 retake.
Did you see the bomb? I thought he saw the bomb for half a second. Now Silly's in a lot of trouble. That FMJ.
He's still up, though. He's still up, though.
Trying to buy time. Diabolic trying to work platform, but he's going to get taken down by Hook. Here comes the trades from Enigma6, trying to fight their way back in for this retake. Nice shots out of Kismet. That was an accident, that last bullet.
Oh, yeah, I thought he snapped away from it too quick, but he gets the registration. It goes through. 3-on-3. 20 seconds on the clock. Ace is going big. Gets a pair before he falls. Not a lot of time left to go. Can Assault make the play? He can. He gets cut down. And E6 with the monster retake.
It's Kismet
To take round 1.
3 kills. He was so good at the Pro League qualifier. What did he have? Like a 1.7. We talked about it a lot in Search and Destroy. A lot of people wanted him to step up. He's doing it here today.
None of this series. Except for the last game.
Well, yeah.
This is the one where, yeah, he like, it seemed, I don't know if it's a Codcaster, but it looked like he pulled away before it registered, right? But he still gets it. Nice shots on the Aix, gets the trade after Aix got 2 kills. And then the final player spots Assault. I mean, I don't know if he really missed a bullet through those 3 kills. Just precision with the SOG. Hell, one at real long range onto Apathy. Easier when they're not moving, but still, really, really crisp shots from him. So they're able to retake and...
Yeah, we didn't see a lot of teams be able to do that against Envy, right? Usually, typically when they got the bomb down, they just bullied their way through. Now it's E6's turn. Hook does find one, almost finds the second on the Kismet. Now Kismet 200 away from streak, so had to keep our eye on that.
Aix just trying to hold that back catwalk at that outer rock. He's going to get back down. They put the lift down, which gives them an opening into the site. Kismet do the first big round and a kill here. He's 250 off of streaks and has gotten into Envy's top window. think if they can get a stun onto Aix and take this fight to him. Aix has a cluster out, though. That's going to slow down any plan from Kismet. They still haven't got this bomb planted yet, but time to work with. They just want to isolate this outer edge. But the help is now here. Aix was kind of playing solo in the back, but Apathy now.
I mean, now do you try to rotate through tunnel? I just don't know if they have time. They have to try to force a fight. Yeah, if Frosty gets on the bomb, he gets cut down. Like, it's so tough, but Apathy actually pushes. What? He gets taken down. Frosty wins a one-on-one, and now the numbers are in favor of E6, but they still have to plant. They still have to plant the bomb, and Aix does not connect with the last bullet.
He painted an outline of Cade's body. Cade got a kill through a stun as well. Cade is some sort of magician over the course of this round, too. Will the luck continue? The slide in, but Silly's going to catch him now 1v1. Silly, the hero of map 4. Can he win this one-on-one? Frosty's got the position, and he's got the plant. 20 seconds. Silly has to bring the fight to him, and he gets burned. Frosty plays the 1v1 well, and 2-0 now for E6.
That was a 4 vs 2, right? Yeah.
Was it 4v2 when K got stunned in window?
Pretty sure, yeah, because Kismet went down right here.
I was mostly blown away by Cade. Cade was fully stunned and got that kill. Like, he just hip fire with a Maddox from like top window. Apathy tried to push him, thinking it's a free kill. And that's maybe the difference between what the stun used to do and now. Like, you actually have a bit of a chance in that fight. Like, the fact you can hip fire, you're not just throwing your arms around.
High five.
Yeah. So if you push behind that, though, it can cost you sometimes. And that was evidence of it. Frosty and Kismet combining for 4-2 now as Kismet drops early in this one. Hook just takes complete control of tunnel.
Yeah, you have an ICR there, but I think General just has to finish that kill. Diabolic does get pushed up almost. It's turned down by Hook. He was all the way down to 4 HP, so that was an easy trade, and that should be the round. Cade and Frosty just say peace. You know Frosty's 4-0. Cade does bring it back, so they might go for this. It's just so tough to retake this bomb site when you have to deal with that upper catwalk.
And Frosty is relatively close to streak, so you think that you just maybe try to get a kill on the exit. Looks like they want to push Heaven. Can they line Frosty up with one? Frosty can't trade it. He'll just try to get away with his life. He's able to do that. Would have loved to see him maybe finish Apathy, get a little bit closer, but not able to do it. And now Envy get around victory behind Hook, really just making an individual play inside a tunnel. Trying to kind of listen to the comms between the guys, see what they're planning up next. But this is it from Hook's POV.
One more bullet.
He had 11 HP. 11 HP. He must have. I mean, we saw the Aix fight where he just kind of paints them with the ICR. I'm sure it was kind of similar from General's POV in that spot.
And that round just started. Pat doesn't hit a snipe, but his presence there, you saw it, backed everybody from E6 up. Allowed Hoot to just really run up that catwalk for free. Had no punishment and just makes that individual play.
So yeah, number 7 with bomb. Frosty is playing patient towards the B site. Envy just kind of stacked inside of this lab. Now the rotation comes in from Enigma6. They're going to wrap it towards B. They have Kismet inside a tunnel. He's got at least a bit of information here, but the stun catches him, can't get away with his life, and he'll get caught. Diabolic moves up to the bomb. He drops as well. And one by one, Enigma6 fall.
And you're in a position, once again, if you're Frosty, just you have to play your life for 40 seconds. Yeah, Kismet try to get a little pretty.
They're seeing maybe they can, I don't know, set him up for the plant in the 3v4. He's got bomb. That'll get closer to the streaks, and maybe he can find a kill after it. Just a couple of nice stuns from Envy, which have really led to
finds a kill.
Many of their kills. 2v3, and he's just going to go for the plant. So this will put him 35 off.
Oh, the pressure's coming, though, through tunnel.
Can he get away?
Oh, almost finishes that kill. That would have been streaks, but General on a 1v1. Finds a couple of kills, but Assault's there for the trade.
Real close.
I thought it was a kill. I thought it was it.
And it's just tough because if General finishes the kill right before he drops, he gets the assist and he'll get the streak. But the 2 kills he gets right after he drops. Just waiting for the defuse, now puts it through. So Enigma6, they go up 2-0, but now Envy have tied things up. Got another game 5 for Envy. Lord help me.
Watch you go around 11 and they lose.
Jesus, being an Envy fan.
That'll be like 4 tweets deep.
Yeah, being an Envy fan must be difficult. Which is how stressful it is for their series. Any change up you think really needed from either side?
Well, I think the one thing for E6 is what are they going to do on their offenses? Because they went to A, but it went all the way to the distance, right? Like, Envy should have won that round. Then they just tried to switch it up to go to B, and they found no success. So I want to watch E6, see what they do differently on attack. Kismet tried to get aggressive.
Hook with another first blood.
And it's really just been the fights between those two. Like, does Hook find the first blood, or does Kismet find the first blood?
But TAC 5 still in for Enigma6. So despite the fact they're down a man, there's nothing available from a specialist standpoint for Envy. So very winnable still for E6, considering they have an advantage in a couple of these gunfights. Can Frosty hit a snipe, though?
Just worried about his flank. He has nobody watching under him, so he can't hold the positions he wants to with the sniper. Now he's going to peek this. Maybe he get a shot off. The flinch is in.
He still
just gets away with his life. 10 HP. Here comes the pressure up top. Cluster in, but Cluster on the other side. Does that land? Is that on the catwalk? Is Silly still alive? Silly's still up. Finally gets taken down, but Apathy and Aches find kills. Now it's a 2 versus 3. Diabolic able to bring it back.
Yeah, the big thing is he still gets the plant down. Multiple times that Silly has almost been picked up, but the plant gets through. Cade Diabolic, Apathy. Don't see the sniper in his hands very often. There narrowly misses, but Assault there to punish. Cade now 1v3. Not much he can do as he almost jumps over Assault's head. Simply not enough time to make a play. And now 3 rounds in a row for Envy.
Yeah, E6 has to start making some adjustments. I mean, again, I think it sort of has to fall to Kismet, because Kismet has been getting first blood or being first blooded.
Well, maybe just play with the team a little bit more.
I mean, he's been their aggressor. Like, that's why we keep talking about it. It's just he's always the first guy in. And we saw in that round 1, when it came to the retake, he found 3 kills. But since then, it's really come up empty.
Now, what do you say you want to see out of their offense?
I just want to see what they changed, because they did go to A the 1 round and found some success, but it was a big clutch from the whole team. They're going to go right back to B, and we saw what they did last time on B. It was Kismet who tried to get pushed up, tried to slide across, and then really just fell into Assault's lap, able to find an easy kill.
Oh, it's around the 8. Connected on some nice stuns. Ah, Silly can't finish one, and there's Kismet with a first blood.
Ooh, the frag grenade almost connects on to Frosty. Frosty just gets away. 5 versus 4 now. Nice stun out of Frosty. Is he able to find one? He is, but the trade is there for Map.
3v3 now, 45 seconds on the clock. Bomb getting planted, so Enigma6 should get this down safely, but Aches is starting to move his way up tunnel. Can K get away with his life? He is able to get off bomb and stay up. Assault can't get one before he falls. There's no trade in. Aches can't connect on the shots to finish the kill. Now it's just desperation mode. They have to make a play. Apathy just going to go soaring in. Guesses the wrong corner. And not a lot Aches can do.
And I love that from E6. As soon as they know Assault's sort of towards the backside, just isolated, they just push him, and Diabolic doesn't take the kill. They're trying to hope that the bomb can blow up, but he gets away. So Diabolic doesn't shoot him. Interesting.
I want to see how close this is, how tagged. I heard the shots, but I didn't see if K got really tagged up as he tried to get away.
No.
Okay, no, all right. I thought the shots were at him as right after plant.
But then just right away. Like, they know there's an ICR back here, so they just push it. Assault had TAC 5 as well.
Just gets smoked. I mean, yeah, he's going to die there regardless, but you'd like to at least get one. All right, 3-3 now. We'll take a look at the specialists. What do we have? Kismet very close. War Machine already on eggs, and Assault about to get his Tempest as well.
There's the pressure out of Kismet. Here it is. There's a first. I'm telling you, first blood. It's like Zuma.
Yeah.
Like from FaZe, right? It's first blood or first blooded, and he's able to get away with his life. So that's huge.
Barely. He's a playmaker, and they're letting him do it.
And good for him to have the confidence to continue to go at it, because there's some players, as soon as they get shut down for a round or two, they just stop.
Shooters got to keep shooting, Joe.
Yeah.
Big advantage for Enigma6. Envy looking for any kind of opening, but they're at a big
might have found one.
disadvantage.
He might have found an opening, but tries to put the shots in, tries to get away with his life, and not able to do so.
I think Silly was just trying to lie behind Bomb, see what he could do. Not really any chance in the round.
But I will say one thing that we've seen a couple of times now the past 2 rounds with Kismet is he has been with someone. Right, it was Diabolic on offense in the tunnel. Diabolic was the one who got shot at first, and then Kismet sort of bait and switched at him. That turned into a first blood, and then right there he had a player watching over his outskirt where the stun comes in. So maybe he's just saying, hey, or they're saying, you can do what you want, but just tell someone so we can help you out.
I feel like we should just go to Kismet's POV to begin with, just because he's more than likely going to be the one that has a first engagement.
You have Grab Slam available for him as well. All 5 players of Envy inside the B site.
Oh, Vision Pulse gives him.
Yeah, Cade's 9 and 6, so they have all the information in the world that they want now. And he's just going to throw a stun out, going to connect on to 1, but bomb being planted.
And Cade's going to get all the way behind enemy lines. It looks like that he was spotted.
He's got to find a kill, though. You see all of Envy are here. They know he's here. He's going to try to get away with his life. Frosty goes on the flank, able to find 1, but that's going to bring it back to a 4v4. I would have liked to see Cade just sort of run away. But still, 30 seconds to work with now. Now it's 7.5 to defuse. It's going to be tough for Envy to retake. Kismet and Hoot trade.
Still doable, but
not planning for him.
Not a lot of time. He's just going to go ahead and hop it. Hope his teammates can look over him. He's got a chance to do this. He's halfway there.
Gotta get one kill. He gets it.
Frosty's able to do it. The only thing he needed to do. And it's another round for Enigma6. And that, you know, when it comes down to time like that, hell, I mean, even though Cade doesn't get a kill there, the fact that they have to worry about him and try to clear him out of their spawn, and that had to have exhausted,
I guess, but
a good
still,
10 seconds or so.
Yeah, sure, but it's one of the reasons why the round's scary.
It's just that clock. I mean, yeah, you'd love to get a kill on that spot, but it's Frosty on one side, Cade on the other. They're just trying to get the kills there before they can even worry about Bomb. But Frosty needed to be clutch, and he was that. So that's what, 5-3 now, E6?
Yeah, it was 2-0 and then 3-2 in a row, so 3 in a row for E6.
And Kismet still has the grab slam. If you're Envy, you have a lot of tools here. Grab slam almost up, Vision almost up. Same for War Machine and Tempest. I mean, the tools to do it, but the tools also getting close. 4E6. Cade gonna get first blood, and this time Apathy able to get it done on the outer catwalk. Frosty still just holding, seeing if they'll give him a shot. His sniper, great in the game too.
I think Ace is pre-firing this, so maybe Assault can get pushed up. Never mind, they're actually gonna stay for right now. Frosty trying to find an angle. It's obviously tough when those ICRs come into play, just pre-firing around the corner. And well, it's a Tempest. Frosty's gonna get taken care of. So they do use that, but if they can hang on to the rest, Envy still has an opportunity as Assault able to find 1 Apathy, and Hoot now watching the door, and yeah, Kismet's gonna jump off the map.
But it was just the Tempest, right? That's all we saw, okay? So you didn't have to use too much to get the win there. Kind of best case scenario for Envy, well, I guess outside of using nothing, but nice shot here. Frosty goes for the snipe.
Yes, tag match. I mean, if he misses that second shot, Frosty's probably back up. Ooh,
oh.
Nice snap on a general.
Good use out of that Tempest.
Looking like you out there.
Yeah. He wishes. You can't touch Baldashy.
Stop calling yourself that.
Baldashy is the Tempest.
Okay. Pretty sure Dashy runs Annihilator anyways. All right, here we go. What you do?
That's a good point. Assault with this trophy out, I mean, he could get streaks just on the trophy alone, depending on where the hit comes from E6. But if he can get them, just another tool to bring this back. But yeah, it wouldn't be Envy if it wasn't a Game 5 round 11.
I mean, they've given up full map control. They've given up B. E6 isn't going to find anything. It's going to come down to the retake. And you're going to have a lot of tools on both sides. This is just going to be specialist on specialist action here soon.
Yeah, specialist warfare coming up.
Because, I mean, Envy has to, and you're in a position now where if you're E6, you could secure the round win.
Oh,
Kismet just going to play around this, stuns around the corner.
They know he has it.
Yeah, he's just going to run away.
It's just going to delay it so much. Like, they're so worried.
There's one. War Machine, Diabolic gets one, and Hook! They both pop the grab slam, but Diabolic able to get two. Cade finds Apathy as well. It's a 1 versus 3, and X blows up his teammate.
Oh, how does that happen? The team kill comes in, flak jacket on, and E6, they get the win. Another Game 5 loss for Envy. Kismet was loud in that one. What a performance for him over the course of the series. And I don't know exactly how that team kill came through, but that's just...
I don't think it matters. I mean, there's 20 seconds left.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, honestly, just that bit of time, it slowed it down, just being worried about Kismet. I thought they had a chance, but Hookah, I guess, got it popped off a little bit quicker, but...
Yeah, it was like a superhero battle.
Yeah, right? Just
that was insane.
Hulk smash.
And there was a fight we didn't see, but Cade won a big one-on-one against Apathy. It might have been on the flank because, again, I mean, Envy basically gambled that. They wanted to play the retake, but they had to have known, right? Like, there's going to be a ton of specialists. They had to have known. Diabolic, how do they have flak there? Right? Like, Diabolic, I don't know, he gets a couple of kills with the War Machine, but like I said, it was Cade that really changed the tides for E6. Wins a big one-on-one against App. And
Cade was big in a couple of maps,
yeah.
right?
Even then he had double digits.
Yeah.
Was that 10 or 11?
He has big map 5, had a monster Game 1 to kick off the series.
Yep.
Silly had that same performance on the Envy side. Like, there were a lot of big moments from either end, but like the end result is another just brutal loss for Envy. It just keeps getting worse.
Yeah, it's just it's frustrating, and you can tell. I mean, it just feels like when they lose a map, things just start to go sideways.
I'd rather just get 3-0'd and be done in 45 minutes than go through this time and time again, where it's a series you feel you should have won, a series you think you could have won, but a series you hold the L on. Envy get the loss, Enigma6 get a much-needed win, and one of the heroes of their squad, Kismet, he's live with your PlayStation Instant Reaction.
Thanks, Clint. So before this match, when I was speaking with Frosty, one of the things he said was, I think this is going to be a close match, and I think a lot of people expected that. It was so close. Why do you think it was so close?
They're talented players. You know, they won World Champs last year, and they just play really well together. Their teamwork is on point, and our teamwork is like sometimes, but I think the reason that we closed it out is because at the end there, you could see we were pushing everything together and played it well.
I know one of the things you guys have been working on is Hardpoint, and during that series, did anything else come up that was revealed that you guys still further need to work on?
My ground pounds. Mine were terrible. I got to work on it. It's a new specialist to me, but we're trying to work that out. Other than that, I think our teamwork is getting better. Our pushes are not as staggered, so we're playing well.
So now overall, I believe this puts you at 2-3 for the Pro League. So how do you feel about those stats?
We feel pretty good. I think our record should be better. I think we choked a lot of series last week. The only series that we really lost was EU, in my opinion. I think this week we have an easier schedule, so we just have to come out, play our game, and we'll be fine.
All right, well, thank you so much. This has been your PlayStation Instant Reaction. For now, on over to Katie at the desk.
Thank you so very much. Just again, a map 5, round 11 for Envy that they could not overcome, falling there to Enigma6. Nameless, Pac-Man, Study. And I want to start with you right off. What's next for Envy at this rate?
I mean, there's just so much to work on their side of things. They can't close out games. They have, you know, Hook doesn't have a superstar, all-star performance, and
you
know,
know
it's
what their hardpoint looks like.
Yeah, it's a struggle early on. We saw what their hardpoint looks like without him going off, and you know, Silly picked up the weight on that game 4. He had a crazy performance, but if you're relying on one person to go off to win you a game, your gameplay is broken. So going forward for Envious, I mean, I think you give this roster a try at Fort Worth, but you got to start to think about picking up a substitute that you'd be comfortable with replacing someone with.
They might have hit that breaking point game 5. You guys might not be able to hear it, but they were bickering before that match was even over.
Yeah, we could hear them yelling.
Yeah, they were already fighting with each other before that was ever over. I just feel like they just weren't on the same page in that game 5. Something just off with the team right now. They got to go home and figure it out. Like Ann said, just Kyler didn't have a superstar performance, and it affected them heavily, right?
Yeah.
Just played okay or maybe below average. Doesn't really matter, but you can't. He's a human being. No one can keep up carry that kind of load day in, day out.
Yeah, and I think they should have got 3-0, to be honest. I thought they should have lost this search and destroy when, Hook gets pushed up here and dies with this grab slam before even getting it off. I thought E6 were going to be able to close it out, but, I mean, the series goes game 5 to the end. To be honest, I don't think it tells the full story. Like, Silly doesn't go on that crazy streak. These guys lose this series, and we're looking at Envy like, wow, they're terrible,
I mean, he may have got that gunship, but in the end, it did not matter.
Yeah, I mean, they get the map, but they don't get the series. Yeah, if you're Envy, I think you start to pick up or think about, adding a sub who you can actually think about playing with.
On the side of E6, though, Frosty, I'm happy he decided to make the change from the Koska laser sight to the Paladin.
Paid off? He got a 4-piece or something?
Yeah,
He's nasty with a real sniper.
Yeah.
He's gonna laser sight Koshka. What's this man doing?
Couldn't believe it. Yo, but one person for me this entire series who stepped up, he came into the series having the worst KD in the league out of all 80 players, which was Cade. And Cade had an unreal series. I'm pretty sure he was
turned up.
He was double
That's what I
positive.
love to see. We love this. Not of the division, bro.
Yeah.
The whole entire league Cade had the worst KD.
Yeah. The first map, double positive. S&D, they lose it. The control, I'm pretty sure it was like 20-9. Obviously, the 4th map, they got a gunship on him. I mean, even in the last S&D, he had double digits. If they're your teammate, your supporting cast, he had, like I said, the worst KD coming into the day. And if he was able to put on a show like that for his team to get a win, he has to be feeling really good about himself.
How do
If
you
he's
get...
able to put a show on like that must mean Envy is cheeks.
Yeah, I mean, do you think
destroyed you.
it's because Envy is doing so poorly, or do you think there's opportunity for Cade to start performing more consistently down the line?
I feel like just E6 in general for the first week to the second week, they definitely put in some time in. You could tell by their S&D. They pushed it all the way to round 11 and around 10. It looked a lot better, more consistent in their games. And I just felt like they were just clicking more, obviously because of the failures that they went through in week 1, the practice they were able to put in coming into week 2, and it definitely showed.
They were still making slight mistakes, but it's nice to see that they obviously went back and went over like how to just team push together. Because even when they lost that first S&D, it didn't look that bad. A couple of small decisions here and there, they could have won. They could have won that map.
Yeah, I mean, when you just stick together and run around, the rounds are just going to go a little bit easier. You might see a lot of round 11s, round 10 search and destroys, but at least they make that short-term fix, and they're not getting absolutely pulverized in search anymore. So I like to see teams actively trying to improve, and that's what we just saw there in that series.
And this is Cade's overall score.
That's from the league.
That's from the entire thing, though. This is not from that one series.
Yes.
If they could show that one series, it'd be like the way Slacked had it from last week. I'm telling you, it would be unbelievable. Unbelievable. He'd have like a 2.5 in Hardpoint. His control would probably be a 3.0. His S&D would probably be like a 1.5.
He got his numbers up to a respectable number right there.
Definitely.
The lowest. Now he's a 0.9.
That's okay.
That's pretty good.
He's getting there, slow but steady.
On the side,
climbing that hill.
Listen, the way I see it is he went home for a weekend, came back, and fried. Like, he probably looked at himself like, I did not play well at all. Yep. That was embarrassing. Came back, he was destroying. What more can you ask for? Forget last week.
On the side of Envy, though, in that game 5, how does Aches always team kill?
I don't know. He has to have the most team kills in the league.
It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I heard, like, I'm sitting here with my headset off the entire time. I hear Kyler, which is Hugh, calling out, okay, he has grab slam. All right, there's a guy top heaven using a war machine. Like, all this communication is coming, but it's all going out the same way.
In one ear and out the other.
Doesn't make any sense.
That's unacceptable. You can't war machine.
War machine your teammates and blamed him. Like,
they're just weren't on the same page. They did not want to play retake in the last round. I heard them yelling at each other like, "Why are we giving up E-bomb?"
There was only one person there.
There's only one person there. It was Silly, so he just backed up because he didn't want to give away first blood.
Exactly.
Gave away the free bomb plant, and then the war machine came through, and that was it for them.
Yep.
And it seems like, honestly, at this point, almost 100 Thieves and Envy have kind of switched places here in these Division B rankings. We still have 2 more days left in this week, but, you're just not coming in hot if you're Envy and you have 2 days left to make a difference.
100 Thieves and Envy are 2